Another day in the NBA, and the work begins, it always does, here on the Splash Play channel. We're going to dig in and compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, friends over at Stokastic. See the top plays are, the top value plays are, amidst this changing slate with guys getting ruled out right before the video. Of course, we're going to also go game by game, check the ownership along the way, see where the leverage lies. We'll hop over to Stokastic, run a sim, see what their top ROI lineups are. I'll do a hand build. And by the end of this video, guys, you will know all of the industry's must plays along with my splash plays for today, March 19th, 2026. Let's get into it here. Top projected player, guy in the thumbnail, Luka Doncic, downgraded to questionable before the show. LeBron also a Q tag. We'll see how that looks for the Lakers today on a back-to-back. But big reason Luka's on the thumbnail, it is my son Luka's birthday today as well. He's a much younger than big Luka. He's 4 years old, so shout out to my Luka as well as the big Luka today. We'll have at least one of them on the slate today, and that's I guess mine. He's not really on the slate though. I don't think you can play him in DFS. We still got to go into the slate today, of course, with a lot of an eye on the Q tags. The various players ruled out. We got guys again right before the show. DeJounte Murray officially ruled out. Wendell Carter was a guy who was not expected to be not playing. Murray, it's a back-to-back, so him not playing, not the biggest surprise. But for Wendell Carter being ruled out, that can change things. Stokastic had not fully updated for Wendell Carter being out before the show, so we'll see how Goga Batadze looks in the projections, but maybe not the ownership quite so much. But Darius Garland also out today for injury management. It's a lot of back-to-backs. We also are in that time of year, last 3.5 weeks of the NBA season, so guys getting rolled out left and right. You got to get used to it. As I always try to say here, and I hope people listen, if you are making videos at 2 p.m. Eastern time, you're making a mistake. You should be preparing, looking at a video like this. Watch my good friend Josh Engelman's videos to get yourself ready. But ultimately, by the time we get to 6 o'clock East Coast time, the slate looks totally different. Keep that in mind because it is really important this time of year. Things can move wildly based upon who's available, who's not available. Obviously, the minutes too, that Stokastic will change pretty wildly from 2 p.m. as opposed to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. So keep that in mind when you are playing NBA DFS. Shout out to Isaac. Happy birthday to little Lucas Spags. I appreciate that. Yeah, he made his on-camera debut on Stokastic on Friday. I don't know if it says debut, but another appearance for him last Friday where he also gave Ty Jerome as his nuke of the night alongside me. But yeah, very proud of him. It's been a very nice day today so far. Went to breakfast this morning with my wife and him. We had a lovely day. He's got a scooter now that he's scooting around the house that we got for him. Really enjoying that. So we'll see. All right, top projected plays on the day. So Luka, Q tag on him right now. Luka Doncic at 12-1. If he doesn't play, very important player to have on the slate or not have on the slate. If he's out, whoever's left for the Lakers is going to look a lot better, especially in a spot against Miami where, we're down Jaime Jaquez, we're down Andrew Wiggins, but it's a gigantic pace-up spot. So for the Lakers in this situation, if Luka doesn't play, if LeBron doesn't play, whoever's left is going to look good. If both guys don't play, then Austin Reeves would pop up immensely in my data. But right now, Luka Doncic, a 61.2 projection for me, 63.6 from Stokastic. That gets about 31% ownership for the field, 23% for me. And right now, it's just relative to what the role is for Luka, the ownership he has right now for the field. Probably your most important Q tag of the day that we need to know. And that game today starts at, gotta assume that's an 8 o'clock. Yeah, an 8 o'clock start time for Lakers at Miami. And Lakers right now, 5.5 point dog. Feels like an in-between. I'd have a strong lean about who's playing and who's not. Definitely would think LeBron would be out here, but we'll see. He was hilarious on Live Before Lock. I appreciate that. And he is very cute. Got floppy, curly hair, which is all I ever wanted for myself, let alone my child. Victor Wembanyama, 6% owned by the field. I'm getting 2.5%. Not the guy for me in this spot against Phoenix. Wemby, though, in some spots lately. We can pull up the minutes real fast here, but you will see when we do pull them up. Wemby has had high minutes. He's had low minutes, 22 minutes last game, but 34 before that, 31. Very competitive spot as well. A couple games ago, played 37 minutes. So Wemby does have a minute ceiling that is a lot higher than it's previously been. Yeah, facing Phoenix, though, low pace spot, pretty decent defense, even though the bigs, not anybody to worry about for Wemby. For sure. But right now, the projection at 51.1, Stokastic 52.8, salary 11.2 on DraftKings, not really seeing Wemby as a priority play. That said, the fact that Luka right now is 31% owned, Kawhi 21, he got downgraded to a Q tag on a back-to-back, Jalen Duren at 30, Mobley at 27. Donovan Mitchell also downgraded to a Q tag as well. Wemby under this ownership by a pretty decent margin for the other guys like Luka, like Kawhi, like Duren, like Mobley. So going to Wemby, it's a different way to pay up. That certainly can pay off in what should be a competitive game versus Phoenix, even if the matchup is not super hospitable. Kawhi Leonard, rate boost for sure, going up against the Pelicans today with no Darius Garland. That said, playing the Pelicans with no Garland, Clippers also going the wrong way. They had that big win streak for a little bit, now losing a lot of games lately. For Kawhi in this situation, feel like it wouldn't shock me to see him sit. And at that point, you're going to take whatever Clippers are left because they'll be down Garland, Mathurin, and Kawhi. That's your three high usage guys right now. You might even get, I don't know, could Bogdanovich play again or something after he's been out of the rotation? They need somebody to get shots up at that point, and you're facing the Pelicans, so it's an easy matchup. But if Kawhi's in with no Garland, think he's worth getting some exposure to. Field 21%. Across my 100,000 contest sims that I run at splashplaypodcast.com, got him at 16%. I would say that for Kawhi right now, I think he's a decent play. But the Q tag on a back-to-back facing the Pelicans would certainly worry that he doesn't play today if you're building your entire lineups and around him in preparation for that. Jalen Duren, 8,800. No Cade Cunningham. Take a quick look at the Pistons here on NBA Wowie because it is always something that when we get a high usage player out like a Cade, definitely worth taking a look here and showing you guys an important part of the process here, which is what the rates look like when players are available or unavailable. Feels like a Jordan Miller day. I mean, definitely if you get Kawhi out, it would be, but certainly just getting Garland out, I think helps enough here. Oh, no, not Denver. We want Detroit. All right, Cade, take him off. Let's also just do this year's sample size. We can take off Isaiah Stewart too, and it might be a slightly different look at rates, but let's just do only Cade first. All right, so Dennis Jenkins, the biggest sample size about, oh, come on. I hate when it does that. Load the one that I asked you to load. But it looks like Dennis Jenkins is the biggest sample size this year of court time without Cade. Not a surprise given the fact he's usually the backup or the guy who was a spot starter. Dennis Jenkins last game when Cade went out, he didn't come back after the first quarter stint he had. Second half was Dennis Jenkins starting. So your assumption would be Jenkins starting. Backup was Marcus Sasser in that spot. So Jenkins, I would think, not super cheap today. He's 5K on DraftKings. But at 0.98 fantasy points per minute on only 49% true shooting. Nice soft matchup against the Wizards, so Jenkins should be his most efficient. Think he is, if not a lock button play, at least a half your lineups kind of play, in my opinion. Again, wish the price tag were cheaper, but he looks rock solid. We go down a little bit, though. Jalen Duren's played most of his minutes this year with Cade. That said, he has outlandish. I didn't even realize it was this crazy. 1.55 fantasy points a minute this year with Cade off the court on 29% usage, 20% rebound rate, 3.5 assists per 100 possessions. How does... And the rest of the guys here real fast, I'll just sort by fantasy points per minute. Shout out to AJ here. Got 8th place last night. Killing it with your data. Thank you for that. Love hearing it. Again, been hearing a lot of the guys in the Discord mentioning the same things here, similar things. I don't know if they're fishing top 10 like AJ did, but I appreciate that a bunch. Ultimately, I think my data, really does shine this time of year. I've really been trying to add some wrinkles as well down the home stretch for some of the guys that are coming in that are replacement level players to make the projections, I think, pop even more. So I'm happy to hear when you guys do well, but ultimately just know that no matter what's going on, I'm still working to make it better for you guys every single day. All right, so your top minutes, fantasy per minute guys for Cade off the court. Duren, easy number one at 1.55. Then you got Paul Reed at 1.27, which is about what he plays at normally anyway. Tolu Smith at 1.24. So all the bigs, really. Nobody else above 1. Asar Thompson at 0.96. All right, let's take off Beef Stew to see how it affects things a little bit. So Jenkins still at 0.97. Usage even higher. Jalen Duren gets a little bit worse with Beef Stew off the court. Kind of surprised to see that, but it might just be because of the smaller sample size. But 1.49 fantasy points a minute, yet still at 1.5. He'd be one of the better players on the slate in terms of fantasy points per minute. Nobody else on the team above 1. Tobias Harris gets closer to 1 fantasy point per minute with Isaiah Stewart out, so he's probably a better player than you would think as well. Yeah, I mean, look, the Pistons, as we always talk about here, we do have a spot where we're missing one of our highest usage guys in the league with Cade out. Higher usage, high assists. So whoever's left for the Pistons, you're going to want to take a look at. Can Herter get some more burn? I mean, I think he can get some more. I don't know how much more he'll get. Should have looked that closely at his minutes last game. I know the rates look better for him with Cade off the court. He kind of looks like old Herter in those situations. Let's see, second half yesterday. Well, Herter, with Cade in, I guess technically Cade went out with the injury right then. Herter immediately came in for him. And then he played almost 7 minutes, 3.5, let's say 11 minutes in the first half. Second half, he didn't start, played another almost 7 minutes, you got like 11 minutes in each half, gets the high 20s. He'll look better, but would say how it looks mostly benefits Jalen Duren is sort of the long-winded way here. We've covered the Pistons now, hopefully enough, before we get to value as well. But Jalen Duren here at 8,800. Price tag's definitely aggressive, but you see those rates, 1.55 with just Cade off the court this year. You're talking, 900 or so possessions, just shy of that 1,000 possession mark. That should be a stable rate, moving forward. For him, he looks great. Fields at 30%. I'm getting 36. But I think for Jalen Duren, the field maybe doesn't want to chase him that high. I don't know. He's facing Washington. He just crushed against him literally in their last game. So wouldn't shock me if the field goes higher on Duren. But whatever the field's at, to me, he feels like at least a 50% play. I think he can be, for me, a 66% play. It really comes down to, like, if the field's ownership comes up higher, I think he'll make my winning lineups more. If the field's ownership stays flat, then I have to make the choice. Do I want to go up over him? There's definitely other center plays in the slate, but I think Jalen Duren should smash here. I think he's got a pretty good shot at hitting 50 today. We'll see when we run the sim data in a moment. But I think for Jalen Duren, really a top play today in a way where my projection only 3 less on Duren than it is on Wemby. Obviously the field's going to feel strongly about Duren too, given the fact he just hit. But I think that still doesn't mean that Duren's not a good play. It just means that there's more game theory thanks to playing Wemby as a result. Evan Mobley, another guy looking pretty good, facing Chicago. Also, the downgrade to questionable for Donovan Mitchell. If he were out, would be all the usage flowing Mobley and Harden's way, maybe a little bit more for your Jalen Tyson tier of guys, but that's going to be safely behind the amount of shots that Mobley and Harden get up. Jared Allen as well, so Mobley gets more time at center. That helps his production out as well, and he's power forward center. So Mobley at 8,700. I think balance builds, if Luka is out especially, playing Jalen Duren, playing Evan Mobley. There's a chance that Luka and Kawhi could both be out, and then it's either you pay up for Wemby or you build more balance with guys like Duren, like Mobley, like, I guess Josh Giddey at 10K, technically be a little bit more balanced. But Mobley, I think, looks rock solid here, 5.2x value. Fields is 27%. I'm getting 35. I would say that starting lineups with him and Duren, relative to my date, I think that's not a crazy thing to do. And it would be even easier to do if Donovan Mitchell is out. Donovan Mitchell coming up next year, 44.9 projection for me, 43.3 for Stokastic. That gets about 4% ownership for the field. I'm getting 11% right now. Again, if Mitchell's playing, he's got a ceiling facing Chicago. Josh Giddey keeping this team competitive right now, but certainly not good enough to really win games and be actually good. But Donovan Mitchell, kind of think this spot against Chicago, a team that trying to win, but they shouldn't really. I think Mitchell could sit out here. So if he's out, I think Harden, kind of replacing that projection would be a pretty decent likelihood. Mobley would also look better, obviously, right away. If Mitchell's in, though, I think he's still going to be worth that exposure. And the fact that he's been a Q tag or going to be a Q tag likely all day, that probably keeps his ownership in check in a way that does make him, maybe slightly more appealing. And then Josh Giddey facing Cleveland, tough matchup on paper. Only a 4.4x value is Josh Giddey right now. The minutes for him, as we talked about a couple games ago, have gotten pretty high in competitive spots. That said, lately, after going, 43, 40, 39, last 2 games, 34. That was against Memphis. 27 last game. Terrible game in that spot. For Josh Giddey, though, we know that a lot of production is flowing through him. That said, 4.4x value, Fields at 5%, I'm getting 5, which doesn't seem like a Giddey slate. But if Mitchell's out, maybe you make that shot more just because there's less guys to pay up for. If Mitchell's out, if Luka's out, especially. Though, frankly, if Luka's out, if Luka and Mitchell were both out, I think at that point you're getting Duren, you're getting Mobley, you're probably getting Harden coming up more. And then Austin Reeves. I think those 4 probably make a ton of lineups. FanDuel, your top guys real fast. Luka, Wemby, Kawhi, Duren, Mobley, Mitchell. Reeves comes up a little bit higher here on FanDuel. We're going to sort by value. Before we do that, one quick ask, guys. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I think with March Madness going on, not expecting this to be a juggernaut of views today, but you guys that are here, you want to gamble on the NBA. I want to gamble on the NBA. I'm still doing it today as well. So, guys, we're in this together. Show some love if you can here Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. doing the work. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It really does matter a lot. It might feel like hitting that like button's futile because everybody, you watch the videos, they all ask for it. But in reality, it does matter. It helps the video get seen by more people, which helps me make more revenue, both ad revenue on YouTube as well as my membership, SplashPlayPodcast.com. So please hit the like. Goes a long way for independent creators like me, especially. Check out Stokastic, 15% off with the promo code SPLASH on there. All their data, all their tools. Again, idiot-proof, great DFS lineups at your fingertips with Stokastic. Every night, there's guys finishing top 10, top 5, if not top 1. In the biggest tournaments, your mini maxes, your 20 maxes, all that shit. It's just night after night. Really, it's tedious. It's tedious much of winning. But for you guys out there, if you want to get better at DFS, you'll get an idiot-proof kind of foundation to build lineups off of, and then you can play whoever you want on top of that. boost guys accordingly, play your slate, but ultimately use the best tools that'll give you guys a chance to win night after night over at Stokastic with 15% off on that promo code SPLASH. And of course, join the channel here. $5 to join if you want to be part of the live chats Monday to Thursday, where it is members only. You got to be in that $5 tier. You also get access to my Discord with that. And you can get all the stuff I have at splashplaypodcast.com in the VIP or the Squirt Squad tiers through YouTube. But it is cheaper and better for me and you if you go to splashplaypodcast.com. That is my site. All the NBA screens I show you here on stream. $40 a month VIP tier. You get everything that I have, quite literally. $20 a month. You get a bunch of screens I show you here, like the matchup screen, like the player metrics as well. You also get a minutes tool that I show you guys here very often on screen. My best ball champion tool. There's versions of it for the Squirt Squad tier and the VIP tier. But check it out. If you want to see me keep doing what I'm doing here, big way to support that is go to splashplaypodcast.com, get a membership, and then check it out. MLB coming up soon. It's going to work really well for that. Feeling good about it. NFL best ball stuff. I really love the best ball champion tool that I created. Going to roll it out on stream tomorrow on the NFL channel at SplashPlayPod. That's what's going on with my stuff. So check it out here. SplashPlayPodcast.com. Support the show if you can by joining on there. All right, so before the show, Stokastic had not updated yet for Goga Bitadze. I gave him the minutes basically that he had last time Wendell Carter missed. My expectation here is that Goga Bitadze starts. You then have Mo Wagner behind him. Noah Penda probably picks up a few minutes as well as the 4/5. Maybe some small ball, Paolo Banchero 5 as well. Bitadze, though, starting at 3,600, getting those 22 minutes or so. He looks decent. Right now, again, the ownership hasn't caught up because Stokastic did an update. Hopefully they'll have an update when we run their sim in a moment. But Bitadze, with no ownership for the field, is making 12% of my lineups. My guess is that based on the fact we don't have great value on the slate, you'll probably get Bitadze being somebody who makes 33% of the field's lineups, and then he maybe gets to around 33 to 40% in my sim would be my guess. Right now, he's one of the better values on the slate. We'll have some other guys like Fontecchio, who I do like. We've hit on before on stream in slates like this where we have no Jaquez, no Andrew Wiggins kind of spots. For Bitadze, though, at 3,600 facing Charlotte, we did see Khalil Ware have a terrible game against Moussa Diabate and the Hornets the other day. Maybe Bitadze gets sucked into that again, but he's such a good producer overall, is Bitadze. This year, even with his role kind of dissipating, Bitadze has lately been putting up, 1.1 fantasy sports minute, 18% rebound rate, not a lot of usage at 13%. So he's not even, scoring points really. If he does score points, he'd absolutely break the slate, at 3,600. But I think you want to be with Bitadze's number as a value right now. If better value opens up though, like let's say Kawhi's out, Luka and LeBron are out, maybe things look different then. But right now, I think Bitadze your best value at 3,600. Dennis Jenkins, 5K, talked about him, starting last second half when Cade was out. He should pick up a lot of minutes here. If he were to lose minutes, it'd probably be to Marcus Sasser, who should directly back him up, as he did in the second half of last game for the Pistons. But the matchup versus Washington, I think too good. Fields at 48%, Dennis Jenkins, I've got 60. Don't think he's in every lineup play, but if he were to make 80% of my lineup, 75%, I probably wouldn't dock him or anything. I just roll with it because I think he's a pretty good play. Always fills in pretty well. We saw he's putting up just shy of one fantasy work minute this year with Cade off the court. So Dennis Jenkins, I think a rock solid play here. Probably gets you high 20s minutes at 5K. It's enough to get into your lineups. And he does have a ceiling as well. Austin Reeves, technically a top value for me at 8K because he's facing Miami, getting a ton of minutes lately. Right now, Stokastic giving him 40 minutes. But lately for Austin Reeves, 39 minutes, 40 minutes, 46 minutes, 39, 39, 39. He is playing so much. It is a back-to-back, so maybe you do get that, closer to 39 as opposed to 45. But for Austin Reeves at this point, I think he's a guy that will only benefit more if you get Luka out, if you get LeBron out. So Reeves at this point, coming up 18% for the field on DraftKings. I've got him at 36. And really, if you get anybody else on this team out, think that Austin Reeves will look even better. That's simple as that. Simone Fontecchio. I need to boost his rates for no Jaime Jaquez. But when you get smaller sample size heat groups, and actually let's look at it in NBA Wowie real fast. Heat today. We got no Wiggy. We got no Jaquez. Let's check rates here. I think it's Powell that really helps out Fontecchio's rates. But Fontecchio, with these guys off the court, averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Bam Adebayo, 1.3. Khalil Ware, 1.2. I mean, a lot of guys really concentrating roles here. Fontecchio scored more per minute with Wiggins and Jaquez off than Tyler Hero this year. It's small sample size for Hero, and he shot terribly at 45% true shooting. But Fontecchio with a dead average, 58% true shooting, has played really well. Fontecchio, I think maybe a little bit less exciting value for the field. Coming up a lot for me, though, and frankly, this has happened before, and he paid off massively for me, so I'm not going to avoid it. Fontecchio at 3,400, getting about an 18.8 projection for me, but at 3% ownership, he's making 29% of lineups. Paying down at power forward probably allows you some flexibility here, and Fontecchio, you don't need to go nuts on him, but I think you want to have 10% Fontecchio, potentially more, and for me, it's probably going to be more. Jalen Duren, a top value for me, even though he is 8,800, just underpriced for the situation he is in now. Facing Washington, no Cade Cunningham. It's an absolute smash spot. No Stewart either. So that really does mean that he's going to be out there a bunch unless he gets in absolutely catastrophic foul trouble. So Jalen Duren, Fields at 30%. I'm getting 36. And really, if I were to lock players in the slate, Dennis Jenkins, Jalen Duren to be two guys I would consider right off the bat. I just think that they get where they need to go today. Just the matchup's too good. No Cade. They're not priced for that situation fully. Even though Dennis Jenkins is priced pretty close to it, I think. Justin Champagnie has started recently for the Wizards with them, and I don't even know what the Wizards are doing at this point. But they're 38% ownership right now for Justin Champagnie and Stokastic data. I'm getting 32%. I think he's not as compelling of a play as a value as Batate will be when everything matriculates and updates, as Dennis Jenkins will be with no Cade. Even Fontecchio, I kind of think is a more fun play at 3,400 than Champagnie at 48. But he's a good contributor, and if he is going to play starter level minutes, that's enough to get there. Champagnie last time out played 29 minutes as a starter here, put up 34.8 fantasy points. If he starts again, no reason to think he can't do that again. So I really don't mind Champagnie. Just wish he were a little bit cheaper, or I knew that his role would be a little more guaranteed. And then Khalil Ware, last top value here, 6,300. Playing starter level minutes lately with the depleted roster. No Jaime Jaquez is going to help him out a little bit as well, whether he starts or not. I assume he'll start again, though. But Khalil Ware, 27 minutes of the data right now, rounding up. That gives him about a 33.6 projection for me. Stokastic ownership at 11%. I'm getting 21. The biggest barrier for Khalil Ware, I think, is how much people will want to play Jalen Duren or Goga Batate. But I think if you're not paying all the way down, mid-tier guy like Khalil Ware, terrible game last time out for him as Mega Chalk, or at least, was that 2 games ago? I forgot what it was. Might have been last game for Khalil Ware, where he was that bad when Bam Adebayo was out. It was last game. He got 20 fantasy points when Bam was out against Charlotte. With how bad he was last time out, I think going back to Ware, kind of a compelling way to get away from Batate for some portion of lineups. We're going to go game by game. Actually, let's look at FanDuel real fast. I'm trying to incorporate FanDuel enough because we are doing FanDuel data at splashplaypodcast.com. Whenever I update DraftKings, FanDuel gets updated in the same burst. So Batate is your top value on FanDuel, 20% owned in my sim right now. And Stokastic, again, and not updated on either site for Batate's minutes. Jalen Duren was coming up a good amount here, 5.6x value. FanDuel really lacking value, it looks like. Diabate, Brooke Lopez, Isaiah Jackson, Marcus Sasser, Sadiq Bey. Well, that's why I don't play FanDuel. Gonna go game by game, guys. Before we do that, one more ask. Please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. You guys know the deal here. Goes a long way for me, just to help get more views up. I'll get the revenue up, keep growing the channel as well, especially with MLB around the corner. I think next week I'm going to actually be on vacation on Thursday and Friday, but I'm going to try to go, I think we're going to go a day early. We're going to do Mountain House with my wife's family. I think we're going to go a day early, so I am getting MLB streams out, and I think NBA still on at least the Thursday, if not the Thursday and the Friday. That's my commitment to you guys. Even when I'm going somewhere else, try to make sure I can keep doing the work for you guys here. So please show some love back, hit that like button and subscribe. And if nothing else, you'll get my date updated Monday to Saturday at splashplaypodcast.com. Of course, Stokastic, great way to get into DFS and use the best tools that are winning people money night after night. Of course, you still have to be good at DFS, have to know what you're doing, have to listen to the tools and not override them at every turn. But Stokastic, great way to play DFS and get better at it. Even if you want to play the players you want to play, it'll still give you the best ROI versions of that. So check it out for yourself. Promo code SPLASH over at Stokastic gets you 15% off over at Stokastic right now. And of course, my site, splashplaypodcast.com. All the screens you want to see here, you can join right now. Of course, check the QR code that'll pop up in a minute here. You can just scan that, go right over to the join page. But $20 a month for the Squirt Squad tier, $40 a month for the VIP tier. It's even cheaper if you go yearly. But check it out for yourself. Really a great site to be a part of. Of course, I'm doing the best I can to keep adding more tools, more wrinkles to make it worth your value for the NBA, for MLB, for NFL best ball right now. The best ball champion, I think, is honestly, I love my NBA stuff, and my data, my projections have always, I think, been really good. But like the NFL Best Ball Champion tool, I think is the coolest thing I've built, and I didn't know it was going to be possible to make it work as well as it does. So that's what I'm working on. It's just I'm surprising myself with how good things are, and hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised as well if you join. All right, we got Orlando at Charlotte. 110 implied points here. Orlando. So things are going to move around here. Batatse, if I had to guess, will be again about a 25, 33% play at least in Stokastic data. That probably makes him come up in my data as well. But right now, he's your top value on the Magic side of things. Bane, Suggs, Banchero all have tournament upside, but none of them project that well today. To me, they seem maximum 10% plays. But Batatse is going to be one of those guys where not a slate with great value right now. It certainly can change by the time he gets a lock. But he should be the chalk value play that sort of pops up meaningfully when Stokastic re-updates everything. And I'm sure, everybody else industry-wide, same thing. Charlotte on their side, not a lot to love here. Diabate, 9%. Theoretically, if a guy like Batatse were to fail, could mean Diabate has a good game on the other side. I don't know. Did he have a good game when Ware sucked? I actually don't know if he did. Yeah, 35 fantasy points. So there's kind of a push-pull dynamic with opposing centers, which is something that DFS content I feel like doesn't talk about a lot. But say for Diabate, like if Batatse were to fail as chalk, there's a chance Diabate might have another one of those like 35-ish fantasy point days, a little bit better than he would have as a median outcome for him. To me, that makes him an okay play, 10% ownership. LaMelo at his price tag with the minutes being a little bit higher lately, and we know they can get to mid-30s in certain situations. I think he's a decent play as well, but the matchup's not great. The price tag's still pretty expensive for the Hornets, so you get a one-off Hornet, great. Diabate, leverage on Batatse, okay to me conceptually. Nothing looks that good in this game, though. Detroit at Washington, definitely going to be a different one with 231.5 combined points. Not the best total on the slate, but it's up there. Dennis Jenkins on a Detroit team getting 122.5 implied points. You assume some production going to flow his way. Certainly, if he were to fail, probably more shots going to Sar Thompson, Tobias Harris's way on the wing. Maybe Marcus Sasser plays well off the bench, eats a few minutes. But Jenkins getting 30 minutes of data right now at a 5K salary. That's worth 48% ownership for the field and 60% across my 100,000 contest sims. Jalen Duren, 30% owned by the field. I've got 36. Get a rock-solid play here, hitting this exact same spot last game because Cade got hurt versus Washington. Now they're playing him again. Duren can smash very easily. He also did last time out, so certainly think the field's ownership at 30%. I would say a little bit of an undershoot by Stokastic, but to me, Jalen Duren feels like about a half your lineups play, and I'd rather play him in more lineups than less, generally. Karis LeVert, 14% owned by the field. I'm getting 12. Not a great play, but shooting guard, small forward at 3,900. Should gain some opportunity uptick with Cade Cunningham being out. But really, it's mostly Dennis Jenkins, Tobias, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren getting the big opportunity uptick. Marcus Sasser, if he plays well off the bench, but he's more expensive than Jenkins, so I wouldn't take that shot. Mostly Jenkins and Duren for me here. Wizard side, Champagny popping up a lot after he got that starter level minutes last time out. Played really well doing that. If he starts again at 4,800, think you can take that shot again as well. But the field's at 38%. I'm getting 32. Seems to me like a little bit of an over-owned play, even though at 4,800, he's a semi-value that works well if you're not playing a Batatse type. Will Riley still playing decent minutes, really the most minutes on the team at this point for the Wizards pretty reliably. Not getting up to the 40 minutes you would think in many spots, but 19% owned by the field. I'm getting 18. Still not a great per minute producer on the year as Will Riley at 0.78 fantasy points a minute, but this kind of situation, I don't know. I really hate players against Detroit. Still could take shots at Will Riley just for the crush of minutes that he sometimes gets. With Koulibaly out, definitely more upside for him. Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, but those two in particular, the minutes seem down, and I'm not sure you want to go there. Lakers at Miami, really hard to talk about this game because we could have Luka and LeBron sitting. At that case, Austin Reeves would be mega chalk. I'd play him in every lineup. It would not feel bad about it, especially with the minutes he's playing lately. If those guys are in, though, LeBron looks okay at 7,700, had a nice 30-point game for himself. His minutes have been up lately. Luka playing more minutes as well as the Lakers make their rounding into playoff form push, it seems. But these guys not playing in Miami would not be a shocker. LeBron, and it's a back-to-back. I just assume he wouldn't play in a back-to-back at this point. The fact it's in Miami, the fact that he had a good game yesterday, he might want to stack those. But right now, these guys all look playable. It's a good team total here today, or good game total, 240.5. I believe is your highest on the slate. Yeah, it's number one on the slate. So you're getting the highest team total here. I think there's maybe an assumption here that all the three guys are playing with the total being that high. But Lakers right now, 32% for LeBron. Is Reeves also a Q tag? On my brain, I had Chavez, LeBron, and Luka, but I might have missed an alert because I've been, dealing with a birthday boy for most of the morning. Let me check the Lakers here real fast. If they're all out, it's a different situation. Yeah, it is the big three all Q tag. So Luka, LeBron, Reeves all Q tag. I have been saying just the two. But yeah, they all could play. They all could sit. I kind of assume Reeves plays based on the fact that he is playing Iron Man level minutes lately. But right now, to me, LeBron, 32% for the field. I'm right with that. Luka, 31% for the field. I'm a little bit low on that at 23. Reeves, I'm getting 2x the exposure on. My data always loves Austin Reeves. The fact he's playing crazy minutes, definitely not hurting there either. If they're all out, then Luke Kennard, I guess, comes up. Connect at minimum salary might come up. Rui will come up at 3,800. It'll be an entirely different slate if these guys are all out. Heat, 123 implied points here, so another pretty big total. Norm Powell, the one popping up the most right now for the field, is 26%. No Jaquez helps out a lot. You don't mind Norm Powell. Would think he'd pop a little bit more in my data, but he's not. I got to play with the rates a little bit, though, after the show because I did not get everything updated for Jaquez being out yet, only Wiggins being out. But Powell, 26%, I'm getting 21. Sure. Khalil Ware, think there's merit going back to him after he was so bad last game, and now you have Bam Adebayo back in, so people are not going to flock to play him. Fields 11%, I'm getting 21. Think it's a good spot here against a Lakers team that really does not have, big men of note. And frankly, I mean, Ayton's not on the injury report, but if the big three are out, Ayton getting ruled out would not be the craziest thing in the world, I don't think. Simone Fontecchio, 3% for the field. I'm getting 29. It's one of the bigger stands here. For me, really, if anybody on the slate, I think Fontecchio is one of those guys that always pops in my data when we are missing a bunch of wings for the Heat. And that second unit, like Fontecchio is going to chuck some threes. If he hits them, he's going to break the slate. If he doesn't hit them, it'll be a tough scene. All right. That's the Heat for you. Cavs at Chicago. So we talked about earlier, and we have 124.5 implied points to the Cavs, which is also amongst the highest team totals in the slate. With Donovan Mitchell being a Q tag, that matters a lot right now because Mobley's coming up a bunch. He'll be mega chalk if you do get Mitchell out. Harden will also come up as well at 9,100. He really has not been great on the Cavs. Real fast, let's go to NBA Wowie. I just want to check this because I didn't do it earlier. Cavs this year, let's take off Garland. Take out Allen. Let's take out Mitchell. Not going to be the biggest sample size in the world, but let's see if we get a read here. All right, so your best producers. Mobley at 1.48 fantasy points a minute and 540 possessions. That's like a whole new man. He and Duren both just become different players when they are down to the lesser usage versions of the crew. Harden putting up a 1.1 fantasy points a minute, but definitely more James Harden-like. A 31% usage, 12%, or 12 assists per 100 possessions. Be the right way to say that. Jalen Tyson at 0.95, Schroeder at 0.92. But you definitely would get more minutes as a value, would look better. Yeah, so really the Cavs right now, too much up in the air until we know if Mitchell's playing or not. If Mitchell's in, the team looks mostly a Mobley team, and Harden and Mitchell themselves at about 10%, maybe 15% plays. Merrill and Wade also, to me, 10 to 15% plays. But Mobley's the big one here. Really think that it'd be a whole new world for him if you get Mitchell out. Those rates will make him look like a monster. Bulls on their side, 114 implied points. Buzelis the only one coming up for me here. Playing more minutes lately at 7,500, a little bit cheaper than Josh Giddey is, who's now priced to the gills at 10K. Buzelis at 10%, I'm getting 22. With small forward, power forward, always tough spots to fill on most slates. I think Buzelis, I can see why he's making lines for me. Giddey about a 5% play. Jalen Smith, Q tag on him if he's out. Nick Richards will be a better value play if Jalen Smith is in. And I thought Smith wasn't supposed to play back-to-back, so I was kind of surprised to see him be a Q tag today. But if he plays in the back-to-back, then he's not a great play. Nick Richards not a good play. If he's out, Nick Richards probably a pretty good play. Yabu maybe borderline playable. Clippers at Pelicans here. Again, Kawhi with the Q tag on him. Downgrade. Definitely would be a concern that he doesn't go. If he doesn't go, John Collins is going to look better, I'd say, right away. Those price tag at 5,700, still not great. Kobe Sanders would look better. Jordan Miller would look better at 4,800, still kind of expensive. But right now, this team, 20% for Jackson. I'm close to that, but a little bit low. Kawhi, same thing. Kobe Sanders, 16% for the field. I'm getting 34. Shooting guard, small forward at 3,200. Nice value play is what Kobe Sanders looks like. Terrible player, though, at 0.64 fantasy sports minute on the year. Yeah, Clippers with Kawhi in, bunch of 15%, 20% plays. Clippers with Kawhi out, another team they're going to flock to. And the Pelicans here, 26% ownership for Fears is the high man right now, with DeJounte Murray officially ruled out right before the show. Getting 23% on him. He'll get more minutes, but the minutes are never as guaranteed as they should be. When you are missing a lead guard like DeJounte Murray, Fears just doesn't step in and take over in any real way. Sadiq Bey is going to look better. Fields at 13%. I'm getting 15. His price tag, though, at 6,600. Yeah, he could hit his ceiling again like he did yesterday, but There's no guarantee that happens game to game. Um, Zion still unplayable at 7,900, even with DeJounte out, in my opinion. Makovich, Queen, I really wouldn't want to play either. They're not cheap enough. Queen's minutes, I think, on the way back up, hopefully, but not up enough. And Phoenix at the Spurs, last game of the slate. Not a lot to love here. Dylan Brooks still out, so Jalen Green coming up a little bit more at 7,300, shooting guard, small forward. I got 16% of him, Fields at 7. Obviously, I've gotten him right good amount of times the last few weeks. Still think he's desperately to shoot better at 49.4% true shooting. 9% under league average is not going to hold. You can't be a 33% usage rate guy and be this bad. The matchup against the Spurs, not the spot you expect positive regression, so who knows? I'd still take the shot, though, on Jalen Green at, not a lot of ownership. Devin Booker, also put up a ceiling here at 8,900. He just never pops up that much in my data. Iguodaro, 5% play, whatever. Not a lot of ownership going to the Spurs. Devin Vassell, 5,100. Has a ceiling. Wing defense, though, for the Suns. Always going to be the best part of their attack. Dylan Harper, 9% play for the field. I got 7. Nah. Wemby, I think there's a chance he could be totally on an island in terms of salary if you do get Luka ruled out in particular. For Victor Wembanyama at 11-2, there's upside just because it should be a competitive game, and that could mean he plays 37 minutes. But I don't like the low-pace spot, and the Suns not a team where you're usually trying to target too much, even when you are Wemby. Keldon Johnson, a 5% play. I've got 6. Castle, I was liking my data. I've got 5%. No, Fields got 5%. I've got 7. Fox, okay play, but barely getting played at 4% for me. These late games, not a lot to love, I think. But unfortunately, the Clippers part of things at 8 o'clock, you really need to know, because if Kawhi's out, again, it's a totally different slate. I'm going to look at my sim data real fast, so we'll hop over to Stokastic and run their sim. Let's see if they've updated as well. Hopefully they have. There's an update about 10 minutes ago, so should be pretty good over at Stokastic, so we'll see that in a moment. But right now, across 100,000 contest sims on DraftKings, it looks like right now, Dennis Jenkins, the highest win rate guy, makes 60% of my winning lineups across 100,000 contest sims on DraftKings. Austin Reeves, number 2 at 37. Jalen Duren, number 3 at 36. Evan Mobley right behind. Kobe Sanders not too far behind as well. On FanDuel, my highest sim win rate guys, Jalen Duren, 47% of the time. He makes it. Sasser, 36. He's much cheaper on FanDuel at 3,900. Evan Mobley at 35%, just ahead of Asar Thompson. On DraftKings, the guys who 5x the most, Batatse 90% of the time. Dennis Jenkins 86, Fontecchio 82. Guys who 6x the most, Dennis Jenkins 59% of the time in my data, Batatse 57, and Fontecchio 41. I would ride with all those guys right now, I think. At least enough. Guys who 5x the most on FanDuel, Batatse at 91, Jalen Duren at 83, Moussa Diabate at 70% of the time. Guys who 6x the most on FanDuel, you've got Batatse at 54, Jalen Duren at 41, and Moussa Diabate at 28. So there we go. That's how it looks right now. Getting really important for me to highlight to you guys. This does change as the day goes on. It's not me just like selling to you. It's just how data works. As Vegas totals move, as lineups move around. So keep that in mind. Check it out for yourself at splashplaypodcast.com. Hit that QR code right now, and you'll get in there. But right now, we're going over to Stokastic, guys. Again, you know the deal here. I have to ask, hit that like button and subscribe. It means a lot for me, even though it might not feel like a lot for you. But right now, we're working hard. March Madness going on. Sure, we could be all gambling, watching college basketball, yucking it up, having some brewskis. But no, we're doing the hard work, preparing for NBA DFS at a time where the NBA itself doesn't seem like it wants to prepare for its own slates. We're still showing up and doing the work here Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. as best we can. Of course, MLB added soon. Going to be Monday to Friday at 12 p.m., I believe, is what I'm currently planning to roll that out on. So stay tuned on the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and you'll get all that stuff as we go on. Check out Stokastic as well, 15% off all their data, all their tools, link down below. And then use promo code SPLASH over there. Big way to support the show and get yourself the best DFS tools in the industry for any sport. And it's any package as well, weekly, monthly, even yearly over at Stokastic. So check it out for yourself, 15% off with the promo code SPLASH, SPLASH. And of course, my site, splashplaypodcast.com, a perfect companion tool, whether you're using Stokastic Sim, Saber Sim, even the solver over at ETR, whatever you use, Fantasy Cruncher, if they're still around, my data will help you get better with your lineups along that process. So check it out for yourself. You heard from AJ earlier in the video, finishing top 10 in a tournament. Love to hear that. But a lot of people have had their best DFS years, their best prop betting years even, with my NBA data. So check it out for yourself at splashplaypodcast.com. Much cheaper than going through YouTube if you go there. $20 a month, but really sign up for everyone you want, but you save yourself some money. $20 a month for the Scored Squad tier, $40 a month for the VIP tier, all of that at splashplaypodcast.com. And again, NFL best ball champion tool included with that, MLB, that stuff too included for this year. Probably next year, not, but get in now while you can. All right. Top lineups right now, according to Stokastic. No interference from me. Not the highest ROIs today. So wondering if it feels maybe a little doopy for these lineups. We got Dennis Jenkins, Kobe Sanders, Asar Thompson, LeBron James, Jalen Duren, Luka Doncic, Simone Fontecchio, and Goga Batadze. All guys I like for sure. Sanders definitely going to look better if we do get Kawhi out, but there's more minutes to go around, with no Garland. So I get it. And shout out to Zach here. I've had my best prop year with your data hit two 2K wins and hopefully another tonight. There you go. I know Zach been doing really well in DK pick 6 with my data, so shout out to him. Definitely another way to use it that I'm not, but people seem to be doing well with Zach in particular. Shout out to all the work. We got Dennis Jenkins at number 2, Austin Reeves, Will Riley, Justin Champagnie, Goga Batadze, Sam Merrill, LeBron James, and Victor Wembanyama. LeBron coming up here in these top lineups. He's definitely a little bit too cheap at 7,700. He hasn't been vintage LeBron this year, but if he plays in Miami, you got narrative and you got a cheap price tag. Number 3, Dennis Jenkins again. Devin Booker makes this one. Asar Thompson makes it again. Justin Champagnie again. Goga Batadze again. James Harden in this one. LeBron again. Brook Lopez makes it. Number 4, you got Dennis Jenkins, Austin Reeves, Kobe Sanders, John Collins, Goga Batadze, Luka Doncic, LeBron, Brook Lopez. So all 3 Lakers make it here. Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. Feels hard for all 3 to hit, but in a game where you have a really high total and the pace is high, suppose it can. And Stokastic Sims definitely the biggest Vegas totals respecters in the business. And, in a positive way, it's what you should be building around, obviously. Dennis Jenkins at number 5 again, Devin Booker, Kobe Sanders again, Champagnie again, Batadze again, Austin Reeves again, LeBron again, and Jalen Duren finally makes one. Feel like I thought I would have seen more here. Maybe the ownership a little bit too high on Jalen Duren, at least in Stokastic's opinion. Can't get the song A Whole New World out of your head. I mean, it is one of the best Disney songs, I think, ever. So there's worse things to have, right? Your top ROI players, DeAndre Ayton. Negative ROI, but doesn't matter. We care about what the rank is of how guys' ROIs pop up. DeAndre Ayton at number 1. Obviously, leverage against a good amount of ownership that Stokastic is kind of force-feeding you itself with LeBron, with Luka, with Austin Reeves. But DeAndre Ayton, I would only play him if you got at least one of those guys out. Ideally 2, and really ideally 3. Then I think DeAndre Ayton, then he goes back to shooting mid-rangers again, would be my guess. Simone Fontecchio, number 2 ROI guy. I think he's too cheap for the role he'll have, gunning 3s in the second unit. Definitely some risk, though. If he doesn't hit him, he's probably fucked. LeBron at number 3, Dennis Jenkins at number 4, and Marcus Smart at number 5. I am not seeing it for the secondary Lakers. If we get LeBron, Luka, and Reeves playing, I never play secondary Lakers in that spot. But if you get one of them out, 2 of them out, 3 of them out, that's when I think Marcus Smart, sure. Highest exposed players across the top 150. Dennis Jenkins makes 93% of the top 150 lineups. It's a big stand on Dennis Jenkins, who's already 45% owned by the field. Goga Batadze, 47% owned by the field. You're getting 77% across Stokastic's top 150. So Goga Batadze, cheap now. The ownership is caught up all the way. It's honestly higher than I thought it would be. His minutes sucked the last time he was Mega Chalk when Wendell Carter was out. And Charlotte, I worry about a little bit. Like, this happened a few times at Diabate. Like, I was worried about it with Khalil Ware the other day. Still locked him in. Wasn't one of the better plays in the world. Would say that Goga Batadze worries me a little bit in this matchup. He's just such a great per minute producer that I can't imagine being under on him. But I also don't know that I want to go 77% on him either. LeBron James here. Actually, a question from Jeff. If he starts Missy or Goga on DK, I mean, Goga's a better per minute producer, so I think it would be him no matter what. LeBron, 26% owned, getting to 57% across the top 150. Yeah, LeBron's just too cheap. He actually had a good game yesterday, so all good stuff for LeBron if he does play. Still be kind of surprised if he played. If it weren't Miami, I'd be really surprised if he played. Because it's Miami, he might. Jeremiah Fears, 30% owned by the field. They're giving you 40, so not a huge stand there, but you are getting 10% more on a chalky play. And Luka Doncic, 30% owned by the field, and you're giving you 39. And Luka is tied with Evan Mobley at 39 as well. Okay, no problem with those. Your highest leverage play is Dennis Jenkins, 47% more in the field. If he's making 93, you got to get pretty big leverage there. LeBron, 32% more in the field. Goga, 31% more in the field. DeAndre Ayton, 15% more in the field. It's not the biggest stand in the world. Field's 7%. They're giving you 22. But DeAndre Ayton, definitely, they're trying to get you some leverage on what it expects to be high ownership for your big three Lakers. Then Jeremiah Fears, 10% leverage on him. Already at 40% exposure like we talked about. Okay. Your most negative leverage played. So they're full fading basically Jordan Miller. He only makes 2 lineups out of top 150. Jordan Miller, I think, will be a much different play if you get Kawhi out, but at 4,800 with Kawhi in, just don't know that he's the best play in the world. Norm Powell, negative 10% leverage on him. You're only getting 17% exposure. Fields at 27. Norm Powell, definitely a beneficiary for no Wiggins, no Jaime Jaquez, but Stokastic not loving him in the spot today. Devin Vassell, negative 8% leverage. Karis LeVert, negative 7. And Kawhi, negative 7 as well. Only 14% exposure in the field's 21. Obviously, he might not play, but if he does play, they're going to fade him. All right, let's do a hand build, guys, and we'll see what we get here. Can't close out the video without leaving all of you satisfied with a handy as best we can. So let's switch over here. Let me pull up the projection matrix. Hopefully we'll get a decent read on the slate. All right, Dennis Jenkins, a point guard, easy first click here. He's not even shooting guard eligible, so we got to play him. Jenkins, easily the highest sim rate guy. You saw him make 92% of those top 150 lineups. Stokastic will want him to play Jenkins, and I want to play him anyway. I think he starts, like I mentioned, started the second half last game when Cade got hurt. Shooting guard for me, Austin Reeves at 37, Kobe Sanders at 34. I'm going to go Austin Reeves. Again, I hope he plays. And if he does play and one of those other guys sits, probably going to be mega chalk. Small forward, Kobe Sanders, 34% sim play for me. Buzelis, 22. Unfortunately, I think it's Kobe Sanders. Such an unimpressive contributor, but 3,200 just too cheap for a guy who's going to play real rotational minutes today. And it'll only get higher if Kawhi is out. Power forward for me right now would be Evan Mobley at 35%, just out of Justin Champagnie at 32. Jalen Duren, my number one guy at center, 36% for him. The Batatse is probably to come up. Oh, I didn't enter Mobley in. Sorry. All right, here we go. Let's put Duren in. I think I am going to put Batatse in utility. Just got to save some money here. Garden forward. Champagnie. Champagnie at 32, I think, is my next guy up here. So I am going to put in Champagnie at forward. Justin Champagnie, that's not Julian. Assuming he starts again. Then guard at 7,900. Castle Bane. Ugh. Tough group. Tough group. Let's see. I've got Castle, 7.4% sim win rate. Bane at 8.7. Buzelis, who's not a guard, at 22. Can I move somebody? No, I can't move anybody from guard to forward. Oh, I can actually move Kobe Sanders. I can move Kobe Sanders to guard. And then I can play at forward Buzelis. Okay, that works. Buzelis will be my top projected guy of that group. I don't mind Bane. I don't mind Castle. Like those guys have ceilings, but we'll try this out. We got Jenkins, Reeves, Buzelis, Mobley, Duren, Kobe Sanders, Champagnie, and Batatse. 25% ROI. Who does it not like? I think Buzelis it probably doesn't like. Reeves, I'm not sure about. Let's take out Kobe Sanders. We'll have it complete the lineup. It's probably going to be higher. This goes Fears, Will Riley, and James Harden instead. Okay. I don't mind Fears. I don't mind Riley. Harden, I'm only going to like if Mitchell's out, I think. That gives you 69% ROI. All right, so final team here. You got Dennis Jenkins, Jeremiah Fears, Will Riley, Justin Champagnie, Jalen Duren, James Harden, Evan Mobley, and Goga Batatse. Again, a slate, a lot of things going to move around, guys, so keep your eyes peeled at Stokastic, at SplashPlayPodcast.com for my updates later on. I'm going to give you guys my splash plays of the day. Before I do that, one last ask. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You guys know the deal here. I'm just one dude showing you my work as best I can across the NBA, Monday to Friday at 2 p.m., so please show some love right back by hitting that like button and subscribing. And it really means a lot for me to get more views up here, to get the work back up here, so please hit that like button and subscribe. Thoughts on Max Strus? I have none unless Mitchell's out. But yeah, and Strus real fast. I'll check my data, but really wish you had asked this before I'd gotten the plugs in. Yeah, Shoots projects unbelievably terribly for me. So no. But if Mitchell's out, he'll look better. Like button, subscribe. You guys know the deal. Stokastic, 15% off all their data, all their tools. Promo code SPLASH. Again, best deal they have going right now. Weekly, monthly, yearly, all their data, all their tools. Get them for yourself. Get better DFS lineups in your life every single night, or get their props tool as well. 15% off the promo code SPLASH. And of course, my site, splashplaypodcast.com. Of course, click the QR code when you saw it on screen, whenever it pops up. But really do sign up over there if you can. If you want to see me keep doing what I'm doing and keep me growing things as best I can. You have forward the NBA, soon for MLB, for NFL in season as well. Need your guys' support over there. So please sign up. Stick with your memberships on there. Don't cancel because NBA is shitty right now. It's going to get better with MLB coming up too, and NFL Best Ball right now as well. The Best Ball Champion tool will change your lineups in a really positive way. So check it out. Splashplaypodcast.com. Learn more over there and sign up. $20 a month, Squirt Squad tier, $40 a month for the VIP tier. All right, splash plays of the day today. Deanis Jenkins has to be number one. I think that he's a guy I feel really comfortable with. He's going to be really chalky. Whatever Lakers pieces are available, if all three are available, then I would knock him down a little bit. But I really, as it is right now, I prefer Austin Reeves. If LeBron's out, if Luke is out, then Austin Reeves smash play. If all three are out, then you just got to play whatever Lakers are left. It's just a dice roll at that point. I would guess like Rui, Smart, Ayton are all going to come up. But really, most important situation on the slate right now. Jalen Duren is a splash play for me. Evan Mobley is a splash play for me. Champagny, a necessary evil kind of play. Kobe Sanders, necessary evil kind of play right now. But too many things are going to move around, guys. Pay attention to the data as it updates splashplaypodcast.com. Make sure to gamble responsibly, guys, even though it is always money time here on this channel. Follow me at Chris Spags, all the channel at Splash Play Bets on YouTube, at Splash Play Pod on Twitter. You'll see whenever I go live. Tomorrow, my first NFL best ball draft of the year on stream be coming up on the at Splash Play Pod channel too, 12 p.m. So a little bit of a teaser there before we start making MLB videos every day at that time frame. And shout out to you guys in the chat as well. Appreciate people like Tiffy here. Thanks for all your time and work you put into these. We appreciate you. Thank you a bunch. I appreciate you guys as well for tuning in every day, whether you watch live or after the fact. But smash that like button before you go, guys. I'll see you guys again soon. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Go watch the March Madness too if you want. And I'll catch you later. All right. Bye, guys.